Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz has filed a resolution to oust Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker. It's setting up a likely showdown vote in the House in the days ahead. Coming up, looks like the rain's not done with us yet. We'll check the forecast coming up next. KSL News Time, 6:31.
Win tickets to a private KSL screening of Taylor Swift's Eras concert movie. Listen for your tickets, 8:45, 11:45, and 3:45 each weekday on KSL News Radio.
Better health isn't always about the big things. Sometimes it's a nudge from a friend or a nod from a fellow jogger. Smile across the breakfast table when you've decided to pass on the bacon. It's the little things that lead to better health. And Regence is here as a partner, opening doors to the care you need, no matter the size. Because it all adds up to something big, a healthier you. Regence Blue Cross Blue Shield of Utah. Together we health.
All right, Mittens. This is going to be fine. Please don't panic. Okay, here we go. One paw at a time. No.
Some things are best left to the experts, like furnace inspections. Schedule one with a certified heating contractor to make sure your furnace is running safely and efficiently for winter. A reminder from Dominion Energy.
Held over due to popular demand. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to save 40 to 80% on a hot tub and swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Be advised, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to save 40 to 80% on a hot tub and swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Friday, noon to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Call 888-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
KSL has your tickets for Taylor. We're filling a megaplex theater full of Swifties, and we want you there. Listen for the keyword weekdays at 8:45, 11:45, and 3:45. Then text it to 57500 for your chance to win. Want a reminder? Text the word Taylor to 57500 and we'll alert you when the contest is about to start. Details and more chances to win at KSLNewsRadio.com.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Mark Jackson, what's happening on the roads?
Redwood Road is looking a lot better southbound after you get through slowdowns towards Porter Rockwell. It opens up to where an earlier wreck down around 179th South, Camp Williams, that left it awfully heavy. 4100 South is still slow out west towards Bangor with the big crash there. It's everyone's favorite season. Now's the time, and this is the place for little haunts and autumn adventure coupled with not so scary fun. Visit thisistheplace.org for information. Mark Jackson of the KSL Traffic Center.
Still lingering chance of showers across the Wasatch Front tomorrow, about a 50% chance, but then Wednesday looks very nice. Temperature climbing up to 63 for a high, 67 on Thursday. Right now, 48 degrees at KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM, 1160 AM, and KSLNewsRadio.com, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The following is a presentation of KSL Sports. Hello, Cougar Nation.
Handoff middle. First down. Touchdown. And listen to the Cougar Nation.
Every Monday night, we break down the Cougars' last game and look ahead to next week. Cougar Nation, brought to you by Blue Barn Wealth. Here's BYU insider Mitch Harper and Matt Baiamonte on Utah's legacy home of the Cougars. KSL News Radio.
Cougar Nation, we're breaking down the win over Cincinnati, and we're taking your calls. We've had some good calls today, too, and we got 30 minutes left in the show. So if you want to chime in on the win over the Bearcats or who are the best players for BYU football up until this point, you can call us at 801-575-8255. That's 801-575-8255. talk right now, Mitch. Let's get into what's trending for BYU football. Let's do it.
Cougar Nation trending. What's trending up and what's trending down this football season?
I'll start things off, Mitch. Trending up, Miles Davis. When he came onto the field, I think I was like a lot of Cougar fans. You were like, what?
You were like, consider me Miles Davis.
What Adam Sandler movie is that?
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison. You're right. Consider me Miles Davis. That's a good
Oh!
That's a good pull from our childhood.
Yep.
It was shocking to see him because he has gotten was he even on the depth chart?
No, he wasn't even on the travel roster for Arkansas. And then he emerges and
he looked explosive.
And you're thinking, why was this guy left for dead? Why was this guy left to not be in the mix?
It doesn't make any sense. 4 carries, 17 yards, 11 yards was his longest run. And LJ has done a really nice job. Let's all remember he is a true freshman.
Yeah.
We can't expect him to be 1,500-yard Tyler Algier. He's done a nice job considering he's a true freshman. Miles Davis, though, had another step that I don't know that LJ has. And so if you can compliment Miles, LJ down the road, maybe get Aiden Robbins back, I thought it was awesome bringing him in, and it was a nice change of pace.
While Aiden Robbins is injured, and hopefully they can get him back for TCU, but while he's injured, you need a second running back that can tote the rock. Deion Smith's more of a receiver out of the backfield. He's kind of like that little Pini Katoa role.
Yep.
That's where he's best served in this offense. But I think as far as running the football between the tackles, it's LJ Martin. I think it's got to be Miles Davis as your number 2 option. It was great to see them turn to him, and I like that Kalani was also very high on Miles Davis. This was Kalani on Friday after the win over Cincinnati on Miles Davis.
I was so proud of Miles Davis fighting through adversity, and then he kind of got lost in the shuffle in the competition and had opportunities. And I never saw him let down at all. And throughout the whole season, he was always working, always upbeat, always positive, and then had his opportunities. And I think he's going to be a mainstay for us. He's bigger, stronger than he was in the past, and I think he's taking advantage of his opportunities.
Miles is in his 4th year in the program, and he's given you flashes last year against Wyoming and in his freshman season. He's dealt with injuries, but multiple fall camps during his career, 2021, 2022, he was kind of like a fall camp standout.
Yep.
So the talent is there. He's shown the coaches he can perform. It just seemed like it was the case of, well, Aiden Robbins is here, Deion Smith's here, LJ Martin's here. Sorry, Miles, it's not going to work out. But again, it's a lesson too to anyone out there on these teams. Just stay the course because injuries happen, adversity hits, be ready for your moment. And even though it was only 17 yards, it felt like it was an impactful 17 yards. Here's my trending up. Keaton Slovis, we talked about him a lot. I just think, again, the impact he's had both on the field and off. I feel like when players talk about his leadership, I don't think they're just giving us some cliche speak. I think they really bought into him. And I think that he's kind of got this kind of cool guy aura about him where everyone just seems to be drawn to him. They like him. And he likes being at BYU. He loves it here. And I think it's just worked out so nicely. And I hope the story continues to evolve for Slovis where he becomes an NFL draft pick. And how great would that be for BYU? 3 consecutive starters at quarterback getting drafted potentially. That hasn't happened since the late 70s when you're talking about like Mark Wilson, Jim McMahon, Steve Young. It hasn't happened since then. So that would be quite the accomplishment. And I think Slovis is well on his way.
And more importantly, he's making plays on the field too. Like I love all the leadership stuff too. It's great. But do you do it during the game? And it's like he only completed 13 passes, but he's over 20 yards per completion. Like he's making chunk plays. He's making really good throws. Like there's been a few that were questionable. We're talking 3 throws out of 150. The dude's thrown for over 1,000 yards.
And the first 29 minutes of the Cincinnati game, it wasn't pretty.
No.
And it did not look good. We would be maybe talking trending down potentially if that was a whole 60 minutes. But no, I thought Slovis, and those are the moments you want to see though, because typically in the past, when he'd have struggles early on in a game, he'd just fold like a tent and it would be over and he'd have a multi-pick game and it would just get out of whack for him. This still is stat line, 13 of 24, 223, 2 touchdowns, 0 INTs. You'd like that completion rate a little bit better clip.
Yeah, but there was a few dropped passes in there too. So
Yeah.
there was a swing pass that should have been caught. If he completes 3 more passes, 16 to 24, It's not bad.
I like what Slovis is bringing for BYU. What's your trending down for the
Trending
Cougs?
down for me, and I'm getting sick of this. So this is a mini rant here from Matt Baiamonte. Can we stop getting conservative in the fourth quarter with leads? We've seen it in the last 2 wins where these games are way closer than they need to be. It's getting ridiculous. It happened at the end of Arkansas where you just go way backwards and then you make a field goal that should have been 40 yards, 51, and Will Ferrell misses it, and then it opened the door for the Razorbacks. And then again, it wasn't that close. You're up 15. I get it. But, like, for everything we just said about Keane Slovis, isn't this what you work for as a coach, to have a fifth-year quarterback that you trust? Like, let this dude throw the football one. Like, I just believe that he would make the right decisions and that he would either get you a nail-in-the-coffin touchdown or you have a reasonable field goal, because Will Ferrell has shown 40 yards and in, he can be trustworthy, right?
Yep.
And you kick a field goal, let's say everything unfolds the same against the Bearcats, but you get the field goal. Don't you feel a little differently about 38-27 than 35-27? I just feel like these things matter. Beating Arkansas by double digits, beating Cincinnati by double digits. There's a little extra confidence, a little more swag in your step when you're soundly beating people. So I just don't like this conservative nature at the end of these games where it just feels like we don't want to turn the ball over. We don't want to do anything crazy. Like, you can still, we've seen a myriad of plays. Like, what about the pick play to Rex where Keanu comes in, Rex goes to the sideline? That's like a guaranteed 5 yards. That's safe, and that moves the ball forward. We got to stop being so conservative that we're opening the door at the end of games for opponents.
Don't let a game that you had decisively in hand get to the hands team.
Yep.
Don't let it get to a point where Chase Roberts needs to come up with the play on the hands team.
Absolutely.
Don't let that happen. I think it's a good point. My trending down is time of possession. And I know time of possession, sometimes an inflated stat where, again, BYU didn't win the time of possession, but they won the game. But I think still there were some tendencies with the defense that looked a little bit like last year where you're like, can you get off the field? They gave up a 17-play drive to Cincinnati. Cincinnati had a ton of plays, 84 to BYU's 53. Even Kalani pointed it out in the postgame that needs to get fixed. Their time of possession, 35 minutes for Cincinnati, 25 minutes for BYU. They're below 100th nationally in time of possession. You just like to see Keane and Slovis get a few more opportunities. And that's what's impressive, too, is they got 35 total points despite only having the ball for 25 minutes.
Yeah, well, on that note, Mitch, I think we learned something after the Cincinnati game, and it was sort of referenced today with Kalani. Here's Kalani Sitake talking about the run game.
I don't think we're the type of team that can just go and impose our will on people and try to run the ball against a team that's going to load the box. But there's different ways to execute and get points on the board and get first downs, and that's the goal for us on offense.
And we learned that against Cincinnati. This is not a good running team. So this 50-50 thing that BYU has liked to have done in the past, put it in the garbage can. Like 70-30. This is a much better passing team. You saw it in that second quarter when they had no choice with 36 seconds. And I thought this was a sneaky good decision by Kalani and A-Rod, because they could have easily said, this half is a disaster. Let's take a knee and go to the locker room and regroup. They got aggressive. They went no huddle. It changed the game. That, to me, is the blueprint going forward. Go no huddle a lot. You don't have to do it all game long, but pick up the pace and throw the rock, because that's what this team is good.
Cougar Nation is brought to you by Blue Barn Wealth, fee-only fiduciaries who help you live within your meaning. BlueBarnWealth.com. Taking more of your phone calls, 801-575-8255. Taking our final timeout. We'll get a look at what's ahead for the bye week and then maybe an early look at the TCU game as well. It's Cougar Nation here on KSL News Radio.
Do you need tickets for Taylor?
Yes, please.
It's hard to find good ones to the Eras concert movie.
Tell me about it.
So let KSL do this for your kids. Or maybe it's for you. We're giving away a pair of tickets to a private KSL screening of the Eras movie. Just listen each day at 8:45, 11:45, and 3:45 for your chance to win. 3 chances to win every weekday at 8:45, 11:45, and 3:45 for the next 2 weeks on KSL News Radio.
Kids are back in the classroom, and at Central Bank, they understand the importance of forming good financial habits at an early age and encouraging kids to succeed in the classroom. Central Bank's Youth Smart Savings Account rewards students for great grades. Central Bank will reward your child grades 6 through 12 for every A or A- earned on each report card, up to $32 per school year. They'll also match your child's opening deposit up to $20. And if earning a higher interest rate than a regular savings account isn't enough, they'll also let your youngsters choose from their treasure chest with each in-person savings deposit. Open a Youth Smart Savings account for your child, teen, or grandchild and teach them to save early. Central Bank's Youth Smart Savings account is the smartest, hardworking children's savings account around. Visit them online at cbutah.com or in person at one of their 12 Utah County locations. Additional terms and conditions may apply. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Imagine it's the final game of the season, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are making a comeback. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
One of the country's premier business valuation and advisory firms is located right here in Utah. Trusted by top growth, small and mid-sized private companies, not just in Utah, but nationwide. Providing business valuation reports and M&A advisory, Economics Partners has helped clients ranging from billion-dollar biotechs to small consumer products or services businesses. Really, any size or company type you can imagine. They're the best at what they do. They understand the importance of great communication and delivering results. For your business valuation, acquisition, or sale, reach out to Economic Partners. You may just be curious what your business is worth if you were to sell. Or you may need a formal ASC or IRS compliant business valuation report for financial or tax reporting. Either way, go to econpartners.com and work with the best. econpartners.com. And go Cougs.
So you know when something's so great, you immediately want more?
Yes, ice cream cake.
No, I was thinking tonight on NBC.
Okay.
First, it's The Voice with Gwen Stefani, John Legend, Niall Horan, and
new coach Rita McEntire. Yes!
Then it's The Irrational starring Jesse L. Martin.
Ooh, from Law & Order.
This show will twist your brain into a pretzel.
That does sound tasty.
The Irrational after The Voice, tonight on NBC. You will want more.
Ice cream cake?
No.
Then stay tuned for KSL 5 News at 10.
Tonight at 10 on KSL, have you read your restaurant receipt lately? Fees for credit cards, staff appreciation, COVID upcharge, bring in your own birthday cake charge.
It's getting pretty excessive.
That type of stuff's a little bit weird. Are surprise surcharges adding dollars and cents when you dine out?
I'm just not a big supporter of adding additional fees.
I'll show you what to watch for. Random restaurant fees, live and streaming tonight on KSL 5 News at 10.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Cougar Nation.
Touchdown, Cougars take the lead.
Every Monday at 6 on KSL News Radio.
Cougar Nation. Welcome back in every single Monday night, 6 to 7 here on KSL News Radio and KSLSports.com. We're on YouTube, the KSL Sports app. Appreciate Trevor Allen manning the stream for us every single week here, 6 to 7, so Cougar Nation can interact with us. And also subscribe to the podcast as well. It's brought to you by Blue Barn Wealth. Mitch Harper, Matt Baiamonte. Did you enjoy your conference weekend, Matt? Get a little bit of a refresher, get recharged as BYU now heads into the bye week.
There is no such thing as getting refreshed or recharged with kids under 3 years old.
That's fair.
It does not exist.
That's fair. That's true. That's a good point.
I did have a delicious cinnamon roll. I mean, the egg casserole cinnamon roll combination of conference weekend it's not Thanksgiving level, obviously, but it is slowly working its way up. I really look forward to that.
BYU 4-1, 1-1 in Big 12 play. They're taking a bye this week, and then they got TCU on October 14th. We asked the listeners out there who do they think the best players are for BYU through 5 weeks. What say you, Matt? Who do you think is the best player?
Offensively, I do feel like it's Keaton Slovis. I just feel like he has far exceeded anyone's expectations because I remember we already talked about this, but it's worth bringing up. When he signed in the fall, we were wondering, this dude's stats are getting worse every year. Freshman year until his last year at Pitt, decrease in completion percentage every year, yardage going down, more interceptions. You look at that trend, and you know who came to mind? Is Utah's quarterback for a couple games back in 2021, Charlie Brewer.
Oh, yeah.
He had a similar path at Baylor where it was like shot out of a cannon, and then every year worse and worse and worse. Then Whittingham gives him the start. He serves up a BYU win that ends the streak. Like, that's what it sort of felt like. But then in spring football, that's when it all changed for me. When you saw – there was one play I'll never forget. I wonder if you remember this. Spring football – Slovis takes off, runs for a touchdown, whatever. No one's going to tackle him. Like, it's probably not fair to do that when you're wearing the green jersey. Go for a scramble. The entire offense comes over celebrating with him. It just was like, okay, they really like this guy. Like, this dude is becoming a BYU guy. That's when I started to reframe my expectations for him. And even then, I feel like he's exceeded them. They do not beat Arkansas. They do not beat Cincinnati. And you could even say Sam Houston's a different game without Keaton Slovis. I just think I would say he's been the best player, period, this year.
I agree, because teams in college football, you base it based on a couple things: schedule and quarterback play.
Yep.
And BYU's schedule to this point has been
lighter.
I wouldn't say light, but it's
lighter.
It's not as big of a gauntlet. That's why in the preseason we were saying the 5-0 was attainable. That's why we kind of get amused when everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, are you stunned that BYU's 4-1?" We were saying 5-0. We were saying that this team could have been 5-0 out of the gates. The schedule wasn't gauntlet.
No.
But October, I will say, 3 of the next 4 on the road.
Not as hard as it once looked, though.
But we're going to learn a lot about this BYU team, and I think that they're the legacy members in the Big 12. And that's going to be the challenge. No newcomer has beat one of the legacy members yet. Let's see if BYU can do it in a couple weeks. My best player for offense, definitely Keaton Slovis. Defensively, I think Tyler Batty has been the best.
Oh.
Because I think, and I know that comes off, I talk with Batty every single week on Cougar Tracks, so full disclosure there. But I think that he has the defensive line, him and Banya have done a great job of setting the edge. Blake Mangelson, I just think Batty's playing great football. Every snap he's winning his one-on-ones. And I just think that he's playing excellent up front to where it's allowing these linebackers to make plays like you saw on Friday night against Cincinnati. So I'd say Batty. I mean, the stats have been, I don't look at it so much with that. I mean, that 1 week he was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week.
Arkansas.
But I just love what he's doing up front as a tone setter to kind of create everything else that's happening with this. And even Kalani Sitake said he's so versatile. They can do so many different things with him in Jay Hill's scheme.
Last chance, Cougar Nation, to chime in on the best players of the season so far, or any thoughts on the game against Cincinnati. 801-575-8255. I'm going to go with, I got a tweet earlier today when we put out the question. And if you don't already on X, follow us, Mitch_Harper, Baiamonte, Matt. The Lundberg, that's the account, said Max Tooley. And at first I thought, okay, is that recency bias because he had 16 tackles against Cincinnati? But you look at his stats for the year, I think I might have to agree. Leads the team in tackles, 38. He's got a sack. He's got an interception, got a pass breakup. Like, this is a versatile dude. He can cover in space. He can get after the quarterback. And I think his tackling has improved this year. He's a more sure tackler. That sounds like bad English, but that's what came to my mind. Tooley's been great. I think Tyler Batty's got a case. Jacob Robinson's got a case. Mac, that's what's so great about this defense. Last year, if we asked this question, does anyone have a case?
There would have been no one.
There's
no stars emerging.
No.
I even told Tyler in a podcast, I said, it's nice to break down individual plays where you and the defensive line are making plays.
Right.
Last year, they're just taking up blockers.
Yep.
It was just much ado about nothing. And it's just, there was no belief in the system. So yeah, it's great to see that stars have emerged, and the biggest star probably is Jay Hill. I mean, what he's doing with the safeties, no matter who's in there, they're still getting production. And that's been, this staff has done a great job. And I'm still buying in with what they can do the rest of the way. Speaking of the rest of the way of the schedule, 7 games left, 5 games down. This is a bye week.
That makes me sad to hear.
It's flying by, Matt. quick snapshot, quick predictions. We were bold in our first 5 games. We thought 5-0. They came 1 game short of that. The next 7 games, this is how it lays out. At TCU, 1:30 kick here on KSL News Radio. Texas Tech at home, October 21st. Texas, number 3 Texas, October 28th. November 4th at West Virginia. November 11th, home against Iowa State. November 18th, home against Oklahoma, who's number 12 in the country. And then November 25th against Oklahoma State. I think BYU's record could be in those final 7.
Wow, that is a loaded question. I will say I want to buy in. I want to put all my chips in. There's just too many little things that are.
What's all buying in? Are you saying 7-0, man? Are you gonna get crazy here?
No, buying in would be 6-1, which like
6-1. You think that's attainable here?
No,
with 2 games against Oklahoma.
I don't
and
think it's attainable, and that's not what I'm predicting. I'm just saying that's not out of the realm of possibility because that would assume you lose to Texas, you win your home games, and can you steal 2 road games? That's not crazy. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the rest of the way they're going 4-3, and they'll finish 8-4, and that's a great year. That's a great year.
That'd be outstanding in year 1 in the Big 12.
I'm thinking Iowa State and Oklahoma State, you're going to win. I'm feeling like Texas Tech, if you lose that game, how is that possible? Really? I mean, their season is falling apart. Their starting quarterback broke his leg, for heaven's sake.
They still put up 42 this past weekend with Shuck or with Baron Mortons.
Against who?
Houston.
Okay. Houston's maybe the worst team in the Big 12.
That's fair.
Okay. So when you break it down this way, it's like, can you steal 1 game that you're not supposed to win? And that, to me, is either West Virginia or TCU. Can you win your home games? And look, Oklahoma's going to be insanely hard. I totally get it, but it is senior night, and they're going to be jacked. Look, BYU plays well against name brands, so
they do.
I'll say 4-3.
I'll say 3-4.
Okay.
I think the only game to me that I think BYU will be a favorite is Iowa State. I think every other game they will be an underdog.
You think they'll be an underdog to Tech?
I do, because Tech, I feel like skill talent wise, they go blow for blow with BYU. And I think they're quicker on the line of scrimmage. They got better athletes. BYU's got more size, I think, but they've also got the ability to put up big numbers offensively. Like they could put up they're capable of putting up a 700-yard day. I don't know if BYU can do that. Whereas Texas Tech has shown that in the past and with some of this personnel. I think that they get to 7-5. And the thing is, what I hope though they get to 8. Because I do feel like the Big 12 is not as good as I thought they'd be this year. Because I think that from about teams 7 to 14, it's a melting pot of like 6-7 win teams at best. And BYU's got a real shot with how weak the bottom of the Big 12 is. Maybe they could be in the top 5 of the league this year in year 1. That might sound crazy, but it could be attainable. If you can win those games at home, Texas Tech and Iowa State, you take care of business against Oklahoma State. Then it comes down to West Virginia, Texas, and Oklahoma. It's just going to be fun. I love the week in, week out grind, the competition, and how it's just toss-up football. I love it. I think that's great for fans. It's great for this show. It's great for us because this is what BYU's been wanting. We're now going to see the grind of the Big 12 schedule coming out of the break. And I love that they got a bye this week.
Oh, yeah.
It's a perfect setup. It's really the best spot they could have had. And then they get loaded up for a 7-week gauntlet in the Big 12.
I like that TCU has a game this Saturday so that maybe they'll win and not be as hungry to get back into the win against on October 14th. Cougar Nation brought to you by Blue Barn Wealth. Fee-only fiduciaries who help you live within your meaning. BlueBarnWealth.com. So for Mitch Harper, our producer Nate Slack, also on the stream, Trevor Allen, Matt Baiamonte. Thanks for the calls, Cougar Nation. We'll see you next Monday.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City.